Single I salute. I'm Lord Matre, the hip hop futurist. You're now tuned into the Super Longevity Institute podcast. This evening I have a very special guest. She was born and raised in Harlem. She was raised around celebrities like Kim Fields and Ann Fann, who put shows on her block on 103rd and 7th Avenue. 7th Avenue is where a lot of Harlem street legends like Nicky Barnes hung out. Places like Small's Paradise and Mr. B's were landmarks that you would see in the old movies like Superfly and more modern movies like American Gangster. She's no stranger to the Harlem underworld. The criminal life she led almost ended her life on two separate occasions. She was once tied up at 6 months pregnant and shot close to her home. At age 16, she sold angel dust out of her Louis Vuitton purse and ran a successful drug operation with her uncles. The turning point in her life came when her brother Jermaine, aka Baby J, was shot and killed in the year 2000. Her story is a precautionary tale and a warning to the youth to stay out of the streets. And if you stuck there, try your best to get the hell out. She is a best-selling author of 3 books: Harlem Heroines, Snitching, and Reflections. She worked with wayward youth living in group homes in New York and Atlanta. She attained 2 degrees and ran a program that found housing for the mentally ill who were who were able to live independently. She later became a senior case manager that housed homeless veterans. Many veterans were taken off the streets and were provided with housing, job skills, and other services. Her documentary, told by InfoMind, so far has over 2 million views. I went back, I seen it, I was like, wow. Her mission is to serve her community. Ladies and gentlemen, hip hop futurist, the queen of storytelling, Miss T. I hope I did you some justice, Miss T.
Yes, you did.
Because, I know that I've seen mad amount of your interviews and they never talk about you finding homes for the homeless, for veterans and stuff like that. I thought that was so dope when I read that. I was like, you know what? They need to be saying this when they bring you up on these shows, man. Because
Yeah.
black men, we need more. We have a big housing problem in the black community. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I'm right about that, right? It's true,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hold on, let me just
Definitely.
turn this down a little bit because I
I
feel like
can't
I'm a little
wait
too
to
loud.
try.
Um,
Okay. I'm just gonna fix my camera. Sorry about that.
no, that's all good. Um, your latest book, Reflections. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
little? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I thought that was such a
Yeah.
dope
It's
name for a book.
it was something needed, during COVID. It's called Reflections: Life After COVID-19. And after watching the news, listening to what was going on, the divorce rate went up,
Yeah,
domestic violence skyrocketed.
yeah,
And I was like, and then after talking to, some people, I was like, okay, this book is needed because you had people, we were forced, nobody was prepared. I don't care if you was rich, middle class, or poor.
mm,
Nobody was prepared for COVID-19. And I'm sure there was a lot of reflection going on.
yeah,
Because of the divorce rate and the domestic violence, people found out that they were stuck in homes with people who they probably been with for years, but realized I don't even like this person. I don't even know this person. And that's the worst thing in the world, to be somewhere in confinement with someone that you don't even like, or you realize I don't even know. Because, the hustle bustle of life, sometimes we are so busy with life
yeah,
that you're not getting to know the people that you're around,
yeah. It's true.
even your children.
Yeah,
So I wrote the book, based on that. And, it's
mm,
about relationships, it's about liking someone. And then some people found out that, yo, I really love my partner,
yeah,
which my sister, that was her thing.
mm.
And I'm so glad because I really love my brother in law. But if I'd have had to pack his bags, he'd have been gone. But
Yeah,
he was like, you know what, T, I really like Mel.
mm,
Like, yeah, we did this together, we did that together in the house, and it just made me feel so good. But then, what about the people who just was going through. Oh my, I just can't imagine that. So I
Mm.
wrote about relationships, liking the person you with, loving the person you with,
Mm.
disliking the person you with, health, wealth, finances, mental health. Because
Mm.
COVID, if no one was changed during COVID or because of it, something is totally wrong.
Yeah,
Nothing had to be wrong in your life, but something should have, COVID should have sparked some change in some way, shape, or form.
definitely.
Even if you needed a new career because you spent your last check last week and then got laid off this week because COVID didn't allow
Mm.
you to go to work. You understand?
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm hoping that, my book is helping people, or will help people to just realize that, you know what, I need to make some changes in my life. Some
wow.
people might need to feel like, okay, I need to further my career so I can make more money, so I'm never in this position again of not
Yeah,
being able to go and buy the essential things I need in my home.
yeah.
So yeah.
No, I could dig it because I work in a hospital, so we seen it all, man.
Okay.
One coworker, his
Yeah.
both of his parents passed away, so yeah, I seen a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, this the whole
Wow.
year. So I was like, wow, she wrote a book about about the year about during the pandemic. I said I think that
Mhm.
you know that's definitely necessary. Um,
Yeah.
it's so different than your last two books too. That's what I like too.
Yeah.
It's like in a total different direction. I was like, that's dope.
Right.
I was like,
Because
yeah,
I want to
see,
be like, I'm definitely versatile. I'm not just a hood writing person. I know that like the back of my hand.
right,
But you got to be able to be, versatile
yeah,
and be diverse in your writing. If you're a writer, I never dreamed of being a writer. Although, I
mm,
mean, as far as of books, but I've always been a writer. Like, I'm the type of person. Back in the days, I would write the White House, the government about certain things. And my
mm.
mother used to be like, girl, you going to jail. Leave them people alone. If I see something is wrong
Yeah,
and I have a problem with it, I'm
that's
writing
what's
the
up.
White House, I'm writing the governor, I'm writing the mayor.
Yes,
I've always been a writer. I always had a good pen game. And I tell people so much power in a pen.
yeah,
Write to people, write. Because, see, people don't always know who's behind a pen. You write with some intelligence.
mm-hmm.
You will get an answer back. They might blow smoke up, but you're going to get that letter that said, this is from the White House. And
Mm,
we are looking into your concerns, or this is the governor's office. We understand your concerns. So I tell
mm.
people it's power in a pen. But yeah, I've
Yeah,
been writing, a long time, and now that I'm writing books, it's like I gotta be. I'm just I did the street thing,
yeah,
and there's more to me than just that,
yeah.
and if I can write something that's going to help people and spark interest, I'm gonna do it.
That's why I started off talking about reflections first, because I see that,
Yeah.
and I want people to come on the platform and see something different. Because I seen
Right.
all your interviews. I seen all your interviews. I said, "Dang, Miss T got a great voice." And I listened to the joint on Info Mods. I can't tell you how many times I listened to that story. That story is crazy. The way you
I had
and
a girl tell me, she said, Miss T, I listened to that. Or she said, I watch it every week like I watch Law and Order. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
it don't get old. It's timeless. It's timeless. I wonder
Thank
what was
you.
the recording process behind that. Like, how was that? Like,
Ooh, it wasn't too bad, but it's amazing. We did everything over WhatsApp because he's in London and I'm in the States.
get out of here. That's crazy. You would never know. Y'all did a good job. Y'all did a good job. You would never know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's dope. He's dope. Everything over
Wow. That's
WhatsApp.
crazy.
Yep.
I'm wow. That blew me up. I wasn't prepared for that answer. Wow. All right. Wow. Okay. So your book snitching. That's another thing that I'm a civilian. I'm not a street dude. But
Right.
you know, so as a civilian, I'd be like, somebody come to my house, I'm calling the cops, man. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm calling the cops. So, you know what I'm saying? Yes, yes. And I thought that,
Right.
this is a big subject. And
Yeah.
I remember I was watching on TV, Cameron back in the day, and the journalist was like, yo, if such and such, they gave him a scenario, would you snitch? I can't remember verbatim. Um, what scenario they gave Cameron. He was like, absolutely no, I'm not snitching. So this has been going on in our community for a long time. But my whole thing is, how do you get rid of crime if people don't cooperate with the authorities? What you think your grandmother gonna do? You think she gonna keep her mouth closed if she gets violated out here in the streets? So what do you think about that? Like, how do we get rid of crime and at the same time, not snitch?
Snitching has been going on since the slavery days.
No doubt. All right. All right.
And what I don't like is the fact that in our community, this is all we're concerned about. I
Exactly.
only wrote this book because I was asked to write about it,
Right.
not because I really cared.
No, I
But
could
he
dig it.
wanted me to get at snitches.
Yeah.
But after doing my research and studying, and I've had people that have been snitched on,
Mm-hmm.
I had to change, flip it and just break it down, you know.
Mm.
And the way I wrote it is if, it's called snitching. The streets are fair game, but the game has never been fair. And that's a fact.
Mm.
Everybody want to talk about these rules and codes. There are none.
Right.
There is just a level of expectation
Mm.
that some of us have,
Mm.
when it comes to the game. And we expect
Mm.
people to do the right thing.
Right.
There's no code. There's no rules. There never
Mm.
were.
Mm.
Snitching been going on from the beginning of time.
Mm.
And we,
Mm.
sometimes have to take responsibility and accountability for who we have around us because some of us know he ain't built like that or she's
Right.
not built like that. And then there are some people we never would have expected.
Mm.
But we never know, no one knows what they would do until they are in that position. I don't care how hard you think you are
Yeah.
or how much of a gangster you think you are, nobody really knows.
That's true.
So I just, what I did was broke it down, put different scenarios in there, some I knew personally and some that I got from people. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So it's like, listen, after reading the book, you make the choice if you want to live a life of crime,
Right.
expect the worst.
Right.
Hopefully nothing happens. Or you could be like, you know what? I'd rather just go the right way because at the end of the day, it's not going to stop. When you have a federal agent, she was in the game 26 years,
Mm.
and she said 95% of their cases were solved by informants. What does
Mm.
that tell you? Snitching will never stop.
Right.
It's a business between a government and an individual.
Right.
It is a business. Because I know some people who came up from snitching.
Wow.
They was probably getting more from snitching and from the government than they did when they was out here in the streets hustling. It's a
Wow.
business and it's a contract
Right.
between the government and that individual.
Right. Right. Wow. Do you see that? What I'm noticing. Speaking of crime, the crime is pretty up right now in New York City. You know, they say that.
I'll be so glad when
Mm.
de Blasio is gone.
Mm.
We need a mayor. I don't know about you,
Mm.
but right now, they need to bring stop and frisk back. I'm sorry.
Wow.
These kids are out here killing each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. It's no joke.
Listen, you,
I ain't
you
never
won't
seen
get
nothing
no
like this.
argument about me about who they stop. The
Yeah.
only thing with stop and frisk is not what you do, but how you do it. You still need to approach people with a level of respect.
Right.
And this is the problem with a lot of these officers out here. The badge doesn't give you the authority to disrespect people,
Mm.
talk down to people, curse people out, and use foul language.
Yes.
That ain't why you became a cop.
Yeah.
The purpose of becoming a cop is to protect and serve. I remember that used to
Exactly.
be on every cop car. I don't even know if it still is. I don't pay
I don't think
attention.
so either. I
It's
don't think it's on
protect
it.
and serve. If the community does not feel safe with you as a police officer, then you're in the wrong business.
Mm.
But I'm with the stop and frisk because crime is up crazy.
Yeah, I ain't never seen nothing like
They
this.
shooting wildly. They're killing kids and innocent people that's coming home from work.
Mm.
During my era, yes, people were getting killed, but my sister at the time, she was barely a teenager, and I
Mm.
never worried about her walking uptown, downtown. Her getting shot was not a thought of mine.
Mm.
People were getting killed, but the killers went to their target,
Right.
kicked them, and kept it moving.
Right. Right.
Or we would be like, his damn so and so got dead. Unfortunate that was, the environment we lived in.
No doubt.
But these wild shootings, her son now is 25, and I'm calling him like, yo, where you at?
Yeah.
What you doing? Who you around? Because he's not that type of person
Yeah.
at all. It's scary.
Yeah. I mean, is it the level of the gang violence is on another level now. I don't know. I don't know. I never seen like this is different because New York City we didn't
Yeah.
adapt this other energy from these other places like we do today. From what I see, yeah, it's to me it's like these foreign
Right.
gangs
Right. No,
like
you're
no, we
right.
didn't adapt that. Like you had your crew, but you didn't join a gang. I mean, we had gangs in the '70s and the early '80s maybe, but that was phased out. You know what I'm saying? That we phased that out. Now it seems like we retrograde, like we're going right back to how we was before. It's crazy, and then these mass shootings. So the level of violence, man. I don't know where that's. Where do you think this level of violence is coming from? From your experience,
I
huh?
think people just,
Hmm.
I call it corona crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's strange.
After COVID, and some, when I see some things, I'm looking like, okay, it looked like some of these guys was like, I can't wait till stuff open up. Like they've just been sitting and planning
Yeah.
about what they want to do, targeting their enemies, and they just came out blazing.
Wow.
A level of it is that this generation, I honestly think this is like the third and last generation of the crack era.
Right.
I was there, during that time when it all started.
Right.
So these are kids who have been raised, from what I gather, no guidance,
Hmm.
great grandmother and grandmother been raising them or whatever, or, they just wayward kids now. And I'm hoping that it fizzles out
Hmm.
soon. But my daughter be 30, and I'm always going to be a parent.
No
I
doubt.
got a nephew that's 38, and I'm always going to be a parent to him. He
Hmm.
has a mother, my older sister, but you never stop being a parent.
That's right.
I hate when I hear kids, grown people say, "Oh, I can't wait till she or he turn 18." What the hell does that mean?
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
true.
grown. They don't know responsibility.
Yeah.
I hate when I hear people say that. So you're just gonna give up on your child,
Yeah.
prepare to throw them out, and then have us to have to worry about them running around here crazy, robbing somebody because
Yeah. Yeah.
they didn't get what they needed from you
Right.
as a parent. I have a problem with that. I
Mm.
really do. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think when it comes to certain things, if you know your kid is out there doing something, it
Hmm.
need to be documented that you asked for help, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm with charging parents for being neglectful when their kids out here acting crazy,
Yeah.
especially if they at a certain age. I'm with all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Why I
I
gotta be
totally agree.
responsible for your child? Why I have
Yes.
to worry about my mother going out there in the street because your child is out here running wild? You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes.
So, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and I seen a little girl go crazy on an older guy just recently. She was like, move out the way, old man." I was like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She was like, "Move out the way,
Yo,
old man." She said, "You don't want to die out here." I was like, this was a little
ooh,
girl. She said this to her elder. An elder. I was like, yo, this getting this is. I'm like, in my mind, I was like, who is this child's? Who is her mother? Like, who's her parent? Where's her parents at? How did she get?
it's different.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I couldn't. I know I couldn't say nothing like that because somebody in the neighborhood would have said, such and such said this to such as to I would. They would have got back to my mom's. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
don't know how they getting away with that. But what? Can you tell my audience because they might not be familiar with you, Miss T, because the people who I'm gonna be targeting is not gonna just be, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the futurist community. So I wanted to ask you, can you give my audience, um, can you tell them what your book is about? The Harlem Heroine,
Yeah.
the
Well,
Harlem Heroine.
yeah. Well, it's heroin and heroin
Yeah, yes, yes. I seen that.
because it's a double entendre.
Yeah.
Here it goes right here. But it came about, and heroin signifies the street life. Heroin signifies the fact that I'm alive today, talking to you. And I was in the street life. I
Mm.
dealt with men who were in the street, life. I was in the game myself, and my brother Jermaine was in the game, and he ended up being killed. He was killed in 2000.
Mm.
Once he died, I never felt pain like that in my life.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, the streets is not fun. I got to, like, it was just over.
Mm.
And 5 years after that, I was still hurting. I was in pain. And I said, you know what? I got to get it out of me because it was just in here.
Mm.
And I said, I got to put it on paper. And I realized that before his death, I had so many things that happened to me while I was in the game and dealing with certain individuals in the street. So I said, you know what? Let me write a book. Within this book, that I got to write about Jermaine, I need to tell the streets what it's really about.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't, and I didn't write it to glorify. I said, I'm going to write this book to inform people. Although I'm going to tell my story, and sometimes I say I had a ball, I had fun,
Mm.
but let me tell them how the streets really, how it really was. Because some people look at the street life as people getting money, driving cars, jewelry, getting the girls, getting the men. But behind the scenes,
Mm.
a whole lot of death, so much loss,
Mm.
um, and it just wasn't, what people thought it was.
Mm.
So I said, let me give them my story and break it down how it really went down in the 80s and 90s. Because the game is not what people think it is. Yes, you get all those things, but at what cost?
Right.
There's a price you're going to pay in some way or another.
Mm.
I've lost many, too
Yeah.
many to count.
Wow.
And I'm almost lost my life.
Mm.
I'm a young girl, 21 years old, 6 months pregnant,
Mm.
and they push in my house, tie me up, and rob me
Mm.
because I decided to take over my fiance's operation when he got arrested. I
Mm.
mean, I was smart enough to do it,
Yeah.
but like, I knew what to do when I say I was smart enough, but was it
Right.
smart? Probably not.
Right. Right. No, I got you.
So, yeah, and the book just breaks it down. And I never wrote a book to make money. I
Mm.
said, I just got to get this out my system. It was very therapeutic.
Mm.
I got it all out. So it came out of here, spilled it all up in here. And, it was for the purpose for people to read.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it going any bigger or anything like that until afterwards. And, from the responses from the Info Minds documentary. But I'm so happy that I did it
Mm.
only because I have people that reach out to me every day through DMs or YouTube
Mm.
who say, Miss T, wow. And, coming from a female perspective is even more intriguing.
Mm.
And, they said, Miss T, like, salute. And 90 something percent of my audience is men
Wow.
and the rest are women.
Wow.
And I'm happy about that because that's who I want to reach. I need to reach the black man
Mm.
and need them to understand because some never been through it.
Yeah.
Some never, they may have did they 1 2 1 2, but they never went through nothing.
Mm.
And if I had to take the bullet and if God put me through the things that I went through in order for me to tell my story so people can understand,
Mm.
then it was all worth it. Because people ask me all the time, do you have any regrets? And honestly, I don't. Getting
Mm.
shot, getting robbed, I really don't. I'm glad God spared my life in order for me to tell my story and help others.
Mm.
I have parents that reach out to me.
Wow.
I had a father say, I'm going to make my son watch a documentary. He's 14. He's a good kid. But his
Mm.
sister, he was like, I'm trying to get her. I said, well, if you get a hold of her, call me. I
Mm.
talk to everybody. And that's another thing people appreciate. I'm not one of those who think I'm that big of enough where I don't need to check my DMs and you
Yeah.
know or it's just ridiculous to me because even with like some celebrities,
Mm.
some people consider me one, but I'm not. I
Mm.
don't think of myself as that. But celebrities forget how they got to where they got.
Yeah.
They got to.
That's true.
You forgot who took you there.
Yeah.
If nobody bought your product,
Mm.
you would not be where you at. So it's okay
Mm.
to check a DM,
That's right.
reach out, speak to someone. So many people out here hurting and just need. Sometimes people can't believe. I tell you no lie.
Mm.
Before I got on here, I'm walking across the street and this girl looking at me and she's smiling. I said, "What's up?" She said,
Mm.
"No." She said, "I know you. You did the book." I said,
Mm.
"Yeah." I said, "What's your name?" She said, "Nicole." I said, "How you doing, Nicole?" I do that. I ask everybody their name. I address them by their names,
Mm.
and that small gesture right there
Yeah.
does a lot for people.
Oh yeah.
Somebody stopped me yesterday. This guy said, "I watch your YouTube all the time." I said, "Thank you. What's your name, brother?"
Mm.
Gave him a little fist bump. Thank
Mm.
you. That's it. It don't
Yeah.
cost me nothing. It don't cost these celebrities nothing. And that's what I don't like because they get so big in their houses and
Mm.
cars and they forget how they got there.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
And yeah. So, back to the book, I
Mm.
wrote it. Um, the response has been good. People appreciate the fact that I kept it real
Mm.
and I'm just happy. I'm
You
just happy,
you think it was therapeutic for you also to get this
Oh,
the story
absolutely.
out? Because I know that when you come from these harsh environments, I was raised in the South Bronx and in Harlem, so you know when you come out of these environments, these, it almost it definitely comes with some type of trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like that we never deal with
Mhm.
from being in these environments. So
Right.
that's like some post traumatic type of trauma when you go through these extreme environments. And I know that
Absolutely.
black people they don't like to they don't like to go to therapy, man. They don't want to go to
Right.
therapy.
Right.
I don't
A lot
understand
of
that.
us are dealing with a lot of us are dealing with PTSD. I'm dealing with PTSD. I have PTSD. I have anxiety,
Mm,
and mine's come from getting shot and robbed.
wow.
But also, I can't tell you how many of people that I know that I've seen shot and killed laying under white sheets.
Right, right. Wow.
Every time somebody died, my mother's phone will ring, and I'm running out stairs, or I'm jumping in a cab or in my car to go see a friend of mine who got killed.
Mm,
That's, you know, just from that alone gives us anxiety and PTSD, and some of us don't even
yeah.
realize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't hear a car backfire. If somebody is opening up a bottle of champagne, I have to be looking. If I'm not looking at them and it pops, I jump out my
Damn.
skin. That noise, that popping sound,
Mm,
so something that falls. So I deal with it. I never was one to I had seen a psych
mm,
back in the 90s, but I wasn't one to take the medication. I just had to deal with it. But
mm.
therapy is good.
Yes.
People think therapy has nothing to do with going crazy or anything like that.
Right, right,
Even if you haven't dealt with trauma,
right,
it's always good to speak to someone who's neutral,
right.
who has no judgment, is not going to judge you for.
Yeah.
We all need someone to talk to. We all need that listening ear.
Mm,
Sometimes we don't want the feedback. We just want somebody to hear us because we want to vent,
mm,
and that's it. So yeah, a lot of
mm,
us are dealing with that in our environment, and it's
mm,
unfortunate because we've seen so much.
mm.
We've seen so much that we should not have seen, but it is what it is.
You self-publish these books yourself? Royalty, that's your publishing company?
Royalty Publishing.
Oh wow, that's dope. Okay. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
noticed now
And it's
because
actually my name. It's actually my last name scrambled because my last name is Taylor.
right.
And I don't know how the universe works, but my father, he was a very religious Jamaican man. Never went
Mm,
to church, but very religious, and he was almost like a prophet to us. You
mm,
know, and he used to, you know, and this is another thing. You know, I tell parents, my father was wonderful. He was
mm,
one that always taught us to be leaders. He always taught us to know that we are queens and kings.
mm,
And he always used to be like, "Your royalty."
mm,
He would go, "Royalty."
mm.
This is before I even thought of a book, before Jermaine got anything. My
Wow.
father was like, "Your royalty, royalty." That's our name.
Mm,
He died many years ago,
mm.
way before I thought about this book. And
Wow.
that's where Royalty Publishing came from.
Wow, that's
My
dope.
dad, I guess he prophesized that.
Wow, that's dope. Wow,
Yep.
wow. I like that. I like that name too. I think it fits. It's definitely fitting. Um,
Thank
mhm. Yeah. Who do you, if they made your book into a movie, who you think will play you?
you. People, you know, now, and this is another thing. I always listen to my supporters, so they always give me advice. Everybody, like, Miss T, this got to be a movie. Miss T,
Mm,
what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. But I like Kiki Palmer as a young me because she got that sass about her.
mm,
I like, of course, I like Taraji.
yeah.
Um, Somebody said to me, Tiana Taylor, but I don't
Mm,
know. You know, I'm just working on somebody looking at it and believing in it. You know, me and my lawyer are working on some things and getting all kind of stuff together, pitch decks and all kind of stuff.
yeah. I mean, this is a
And
no.
you know what?
No, go
Huh?
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, if it happens, it happens. You know, but it's just good to know that people enjoy it so much that they want to see it bigger. You
Yeah.
know, on a bigger platform. So yeah.
I mean, what are they doing out there? I mean, this is like a no-brainer. Come on, y'all guys. Come on, man.
I
Damn.
know. That's why
This is like a
my daughter said,
no-brainer.
"Mommy, every time somebody DM you something about it, screenshot it. Keep all of those posts when people talk,
Yeah,
and
that's a
that
good
way you
idea.
have that to show. And you know, you need to make like a collage of that.
Mm.
But you know,
Yeah, that's a good
things
idea.
take time, and I'm a very patient and humble person.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe in the universe
Mm.
and things happening when they're supposed to, because I started writing my book in like 2005 and 6, and I didn't publish it till 2015.
Wow.
So I'm a firm believer in the universe taking over and
Mm.
allowing things to happen when it's supposed to be. I
Mm.
don't rush anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. You can't rush things. You definitely got things that happen in this time. I believe that too. Um, what is your? How do you think we can get like Because another thing, it's not only the crime. It's not only in the black communities. I'm seeing the level of violence go up. We seeing mass shootings and stuff. It's like you know.
Yeah.
I was on a train. I was on a train like a couple of months ago, and the door opened up, right? And a guy had a needle in his arm. I was like, early in the morning, I was like,
On the platform.
yes, he was coming. He was like right in the entrance of the train cart. He was he didn't even come in. The door opened
Hmm.
up. He had a needle in his arm. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, wow. Like, what do you think? What do you think we need to do in order to, since you've been around a lot of violence and stuff like that, how do you think
Hmm.
we can get rid of this violence? It's like a plague now. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. I mean, even from that kid that shot those people in Sunday service while they was dealing, like the level of violence is I feel like is on another level in this country. So what do you think that we can do about that? Is there anything that you think can calm that down, Miss T? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. I lost her for a second. She'll be back. It froze. Her computer froze, I think. Oh no. Oh. She'll be back. Yeah, I was about to go get into it. Hopefully her computer froze, so she'll be back on. Um, I guess I gotta entertain y'all until she gets back on. But yeah, man, Miss T is dope. I'm looking forward to I think I haven't read Snitching. I want to read Snitching and see what that book is about. I didn't read that one yet. But yeah, here she is.
Hey,
Ah, you're back. All good. I was trying to keep things going. I was like, she'll be back. Um, damn, where was I? Um, what do you think we could do about calming this violence down? That's because that seems to be escalating in the world. What do we need to do? I like to get your opinion
now,
because you've been in this environment. You understand. I feel like you have some insights into that.
yeah, it's unfortunate because when we have so many drug programs out here, but yet it doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah.
And so that's a problem because they get a lot of money for funding,
Mm.
but it's a problem. I don't think 28 days is enough for
Mm.
anyone.
Wow.
They need it to be long term. Another thing is we have to deal with the mental illness. That's why, I don't,
Yes.
as far
Yes.
as de Blasio, I think his time is up.
Yeah.
I had a nice meeting with Eric Adams. It was a lunch. It was earlier this year, I think. And he was talking some good stuff. I'm actually going to reach out to him because
Mm.
what happened some years ago, I think it had to be around 2010 or 11 maybe, or
Mm.
12. There was a huge mental health facility called Kingsborough, right across the street from Kings County Hospital in Brooklyn.
Mm.
They closed it down. I forgot under which mayor closed it down. And I said to myself, because that's when I was working with the mentally ill myself, but
Yes.
the high functioning. And my question was, where is all these people going to go?
Mm.
So we need to get back to that. Then we won't have the police
Mm.
not shooting the mentally ill because they know not what they do.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to hold the mayor and a
Mm.
couple of other officials accountable for getting this
Mm.
thing under control.
Yeah.
We really need those mental health facilities open.
Yeah, we do.
Because if the government can give out all this PPP money, where the hell did it come from? And you mean to tell me you can't get that money and build housing?
I
That's a
know.
problem.
You gotta
All
understand.
these people that committed fraud out here who didn't work a day in their life but talking about they need payroll protection. For
Right.
who? You ain't got no workers.
Yeah.
So many people came up and came off of this. And I don't even blame them. I blame the government. Of course, we had a
Yeah.
crooked president.
Yeah.
He didn't want, Pelosi wanted an overseer. He didn't
Mm.
want that because, of course, he had his own people that had their hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
So now Biden is here. Is the rules have changed with the PPP and it's much harder,
Mm.
because there is an overseer.
Mm.
And if they were able to find that money for that purpose, then you can find that money to provide housing and
Mm.
mental health facilities for these people because the amount of people that have been getting pushed in the train
Yeah,
tracks
that's
in New York
true.
City in the past 3 weeks is ridiculous to me.
Yo, I'm so glad you mentioned that because I was
What's going
on
on?
what's up with that? Because the train. This twice I was on the train, on the 3 train, and somebody got pushed on 110th Street. 110th Street is terrible, by the way.
Yeah,
110th Street. Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. Like, but I was on my way home, and I got rerouted because somebody got pushed twice. I was like, in the year twice.
Right.
This
It's,
never
it's, it's, it's,
happens.
it's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I
it's
mean, every week someone is getting pushed in the
yeah.
train tracks.
To the point
Yeah.
now I'm always
So,
watching myself.
me and
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
you have to. You
Yeah,
have to.
cause I'm
No,
like,
no, 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 no. It's okay.
yeah, Cause I'm like, like today I was on a platform, and I was like, let me move back because I don't know why they pushed me in the trash. That was my thought. Cause these people are crazy out here. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
mental
terrible.
health.
It's scary, and I haven't been to train in over a year and a half, and I don't plan on going
No, it's not a good
down
idea.
there.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
yeah.
Um, what was what? Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, I gotta ask this. So they letting a lot of people out because of the pandemic. Were you surprised when they let Lou Sims out? Did you know ahead of time that they were gonna let him out? Cause
Let who out?
Lou Sims.
Uh, I, I knew he was getting out.
Oh,
You
okay,
know,
okay.
of course, people who know
Yo, okay,
are
okay.
gonna tell me that
Oh,
he
okay,
was getting out, and I think he had told me when we were speaking. You know, we don't communicate
okay.
right now. It's been a while, but yeah, I knew.
Oh, wow. Um,
Mhm.
wow. And this is the thing. It's like I've never seen so many people come home too because of the pandemic. Like I was
Yeah.
like, wow, so many
Well, he
people.
didn't come home because of the pandemic. It was his time.
Oh,
Yeah, he didn't come home because of
oh.
the pandemic.
I
It
just
was his
assumed.
time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. No, no, no.
All right,
Yeah, I don't think he's the type of person they would let out because of the pandemic.
all right. See, yeah. Um.
Yeah. No.
Oh, do you ever consider like talk? You know what? I always feel like it would be dope if you can go to some of these elementary schools and talk to some of these kids, man. You ever feel like doing that sometimes?
I talk at lockdown facilities for young
Wow,
adults. Yeah. I go up to Children's Village or in Valhalla, so I talk to them. They need it the most
they
because
do.
they're locked down for a reason.
Yeah.
And before they come back out here, you know, it's amazing because when I used to work in group homes with wayward youth,
Mm.
one thing, I've it really pays to treat people good.
Yeah, it does.
So now, give me 1 second.
Sure.
Oh no, now my kids are grown. I still call them my kids because but they're grown. Give me 1 second,
Sure.
Ryan. Ryan. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all
I
good.
apologize.
That's all good.
So what happens is one of the guys that I worked with in the facility, he's grown now, got his own family.
Mm.
He started his own program called Drama Free. He teaches kids acting. So now what he does is get me the gigs at the lockdown facilities.
Mm.
So it's so funny because when I walk in, they looking at me. I tell my story, and if there's a video, I have certain parts of my documentary that I show,
Mm.
and they be like, "Oh my God, you got shot? You this? You don't look like it." I said, what does getting shot look like?" you
Right.
know.
Right.
And then at the end, I asked them. I said, "Well, do you know how I know this gentleman right here?" I said, "When he was in here, I was his counselor," and they be so blown away.
Wow.
Even the counselors there are so blown away to
Mm.
know that he was my I was mentoring him while he was in the lockdown facility as a wayward kid.
Wow.
And now we're together, doing business, and it's definitely a wonderful feeling.
Mm.
And sometimes before I get there, the kids be like, "Oh, I read your book,"
Wow.
already. And
Wow.
if I could reach them, I'm happy,
Mm.
but it gives them something to think about.
Definitely.
Yeah. Even the staff, they
Wow.
be blown away. So they be like, whoa, yeah.
I think that's
So yeah,
dope.
I definitely, and I do plan on talking more at schools. I do want to talk more at schools, to stop them from even getting to that point,
Yeah.
in the future if they ever end up in a lockdown facility. Like, listen, hold up, let me tell you, because these kids, it's unfortunate that when I was coming up, we listened to the adults. We wanted to mirror them, and we actually
Yeah.
listened. Today, these kids, they don't want to listen. They think they know everything, and it's just
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. I agree. I definitely
Mhm.
agree because I definitely see that your story being told and talking to the kids. I definitely see that as being helpful. I definitely do.
Mhm.
And I feel like no matter how far you go in the streets, you can always there's always as long as you live, you can always turn that around. I feel like too. I feel like what I'm saying. I feel like there's you can always turn your life around and switch that up. You don't have what I'm saying. There's always um a possibility for you to do better and redeem yourself from being in that environment or doing if you was hustling, what I'm saying, whatever you was doing that was negative in the streets, you can always turn that around and help other people, save other lives, so they don't have to go down that negative dark path. Um, you know,
It's
what do you
never
think?
too late.
Huh? It's never. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. That it's never too late to turn any of that around. Um. So what can we what is your plans for the future? More books?
Um, well, I just published this book with my 9-year-old niece.
Oh,
It's called "I Have Asthma, but Asthma doesn't have."
wow. Okay.
I don't know why it looks so good. Yeah, it's called "I Have Asthma, but Asthma Doesn't Have Me,"
Wow.
and it's so crazy because although it's a children's book,
Hmm.
the reception from adults who have asthma was like, wow. Because
Oh,
we know, if you don't know, asthma is more fatal for an adult than it is for a child.
yeah, I do know for sure.
Yeah. So it's a fun book and also informational.
Mm.
And we had a good time writing it. She
Mm.
has asthma and she suffered with it since she was a child. And
Wow.
yeah, her brother, my
Mm.
nephew, he's 25 and he still has it. So it's
Mm.
definitely a necessary book, you know,
Wow.
for people to read. So that's what we're doing now, and I'm about to all my books we're about to be in the libraries and different places. I went to the children's hospital and we're going to do a video. And what they said is do a video and they're going to put her video up on every monitor in the kids' rooms, which I think is dope
Wow.
instead of just doing a reading, you know. And yeah, that's what I'm doing with her right now.
Wow.
I'm working on maybe doing a 6-part series of my book. So
Mm.
I have a writer. He's going to start.
Mm.
We're gonna do a 5-page pitch, so
Mm.
my lawyer could pitch, and I plan on going back to school because
Mm.
there's a lot of things I still want to accomplish that I didn't because the street life. I allowed the street life to uh, stop me from doing some things.
Mm.
So I'm working on getting my third degree.
Wow.
Yeah,
You.
and that'll be a master's in nursing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's never too late. It's
Definitely.
never too late. And
Yeah.
whether I make it TV or not, I'm still going to become a nurse, no matter what.
Wow.
That's
That's a
something I want to accomplish. Yeah, because I went to school for nursing in 1987,
that's a great field. Me
but
working
the
in a
streets were
hospital.
calling. Yeah,
I
I
understand that.
love helping. I love
Wow.
helping people. That's my
Mm.
thing. I get that from my mom. My mom has always been a caregiver. So helping people, I
Mm.
love it. And then, I see a lot of things go on in hospitals that I see people, you know, they lose the compassion.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not really about the money.
Yeah.
You got to in that field, once you've been in there so long that you lose compassion, it's time for you to retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Once if you're sitting up there and you're not really paying attention to what's going on and
Yes.
patients are calling you and you're not answering the phones or answering the call, there's a problem.
Yes.
That's not where you need to be. So yeah, these are the things that I'm working on doing.
Nah, nurses is dope.
Yeah,
And people for people
yeah.
who don't know, even Harriet Tubman was a nurse. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Harriet Tubman was a nurse.
Yeah.
Um, I really have a great respect for nurses. They don't even eat sometimes. I have to remind them to eat. I be like, yo, did you eat? It's
Yeah.
like they won't.
Mhm.
Some of them skip. The hell, they work 12
Yeah.
hours. They have 12-hour shifts and they forget to eat. That's crazy.
Mhm.
It's crazy the type of dedication and
Yeah,
sacrifice
I
they
used
have
to
to
be
do.
like that when I was a case manager.
Yeah,
I was just telling somebody I would realize that it's 3 or 4, and I didn't even go to lunch
yeah,
because I would go above and beyond for my clients.
no doubt.
You know.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know you've seen a lot of stuff working in that field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you've seen a whole lot, and I wonder why they don't have enough shelters. There's not enough. I don't know how many. I don't think there's a lot of men's shelters in New York City.
Well, they do have the big one downtown. It's a lot of men's shelters, to be honest with you. It
Oh, okay.
really is. But it need to be less because we need to be able to provide housing.
Right. Oh, I see. Got you. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, if you have enough money to give out millions in PPP to people who don't deserve it,
Mm.
why can't you build housing? There
Yeah.
should not be a program for homeless vets.
Yeah.
No veteran should be homeless.
That's it's
A
crazy.
homeless veteran program should not have to exist.
That's true.
Every veteran should come to Section 8
Mm.
if they don't have a trade, because some
Yeah.
people are employable because of the things that they've seen
Yeah.
in the service. So, to Section 8 or some type of job skill. Now, one thing I did like about the service when coming out, they had something called the Post 9/11 bill.
Mm.
And that was a bill where they received about 30 to between 32 or $3,700 a month
Mm.
for you to go to school.
Wow.
Tuition is fully paid. The $37 was for you to live. You didn't have to work or nothing. I love the post 9/11 bill.
Wow.
But other than that, for those who are not mentally stable to go to school or hold a job,
Mm.
they should have housing waiting for them, a
Mm.
job, if they can work and things like that. These are the
Yeah.
things that we need to concern ourselves with as, as far as in government,
Yeah.
but it's just amazing. But I'm definitely me and a couple of friends. Like I said, I write letters. I
Mm.
do my part. I try to do my part.
Yeah. I mean,
But we have to make our politicians listen to us.
that's right. I mean, I hate homelessness. I do not
Yeah,
like to see human beings uh without a home. I do not. That
yeah.
really pisses me. Homelessness really. I do not like homelessness at all.
It
I do
shouldn't
not like to see.
exist
It
in the
should not
United
exist.
States.
It shows the failure of our society when you see a human being who does not have a home. I see that so. There's people on the streets everywhere, and I heard in LA it's even worse.
Yeah,
This,
LA has gotten worse. I've
yeah.
seen it when I went out there, and so many people are actually leaving LA. They're moving
Hmm.
out of LA.
Wow. Yeah, they're probably
But
moving
the
to Texas.
homelessness is ridiculous because they do it there and also in Hawaii.
Hmm.
Because I was there recently, and you know, lucky for them, those
Mm.
are hot climates, so they can
Right.
sleep outside and not die in the cold. Because I know
Right.
a friend, her sister was found homeless in LA, and it's like, you know, they don't really have to go into a shelter because it's a hot climate area.
Wow.
You could basically, sleep outside. But it's just unfortunate. But she's going through some mental illness too. And that's a
Wow.
problem again. Again, we need mental health facilities in
Yes.
every state.
Yes.
Mental illness is the key to homelessness.
Yes. Yes.
Mental health facilities and help is the key to homelessness, as well as, them using the money to build housing.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if they can find money for just ignorant stuff, which I
Yeah.
think is ignorant, that whole PPP thing, yes, it saved a lot of businesses. Don't get me wrong, but then you had scammers
Yeah.
and crooks coming off
Yeah. Yeah.
when you could have gotten with HUD and put this money together and built low
Yeah.
income housing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
no brainer.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely
But
this.
then there's a lot of red tape. So you have to ask yourself, if
Mm,
they had all this money to do this, why didn't they do this?
yeah.
It's a method behind that ignorance and
Definitely.
some underhanded stuff that goes on. But again, it's up to us to hold these people accountable.
No. No
You
lie.
know?
No lie. I Dang, it's almost sound like you could write a whole book on homelessness, yo. I'm talking to you. I'm like, yo, this is another book, though, Miss T. Like, god
You
damn.
know,
We like,
it's
like,
crazy.
cause I don't, I hate to see anybody homeless, but I
Yeah,
really hate to see black people homeless. I don't like it.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like it at all. But Miss T, this has been wonderful. And I
Aw,
thank you for coming on because I've been wanting to. I've been asking you for a while. I was like, "Yo, Miss T, come on the show," because I want to show. I want to talk about something different. I didn't want to stick to the. I know you have a past, and people need to know that, but I didn't want to stay there. I want
yeah,
people to see other things about you
yeah,
other than what I've been seeing
right,
out there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot
yeah,
of drama. It creates views and stuff, but I want them to see this.
right,
I want to talk
yeah,
about some other subjects because I know you have a wealth
yeah,
of wisdom that you can, that people
yeah.
can benefit from. You know.
Definitely, I appreciate it. But let me. I would just want to. This is. I didn't show the cover for
Oh
reflections.
yes, thank you.
That's reflections. Life after COVID-19. Life is
Yes,
about change. Have you? So that's what that is. Yep. Harlem
Keisha.
Heron.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Snitching.
Yes,
And I have
yes.
asthma by Ryan. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. It was definitely a pleasure. You know, I love being positive.
Mm,
I want to see better from our people.
definitely.
Not that I am against anyone else, but I'm concerned
Yes,
more about mine first.
no doubt.
And we definitely got to do better in these streets, and our kids got to do better.
No doubt.
And you have a great show. Like I said, I listened in some, on a few shows and learned a lot of things that I didn't know about.
Thank
And
you.
I definitely wish you much success. I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate all your support. Definitely a stand up person,
Yes,
down to earth,
I
and
try to be.
and let me tell you, you always welcome to come on. If you got anything you want to say, anything you want to do,
Yeah,
you definitely have all my support. I'm gonna put all your books in
thank
the description. I'm
you.
I'm I'm gonna get that book on the asthma. I'm gonna buy that.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, thank you,
Um
thank
and anything you would like to say other than to the audience, like anything else you would like to say before we
you.
head out?
No, I just want, it takes nothing and it costs nothing to be nice, pleasant.
Definitely.
In our community, we need to share more information. That's how we can get ahead. It's just unfortunate that sometimes a lot of us don't want to see the next one get ahead.
Yes.
I don't know because they've never had anything, so they want to keep it to themselves. But we could do so much more in numbers.
Mm,
I don't know if you, real quick, I don't want to take up too much more of your
no,
time.
no, you all good.
I don't know if you was able to watch the because it was the 100th anniversary of Black Wall Street on Memorial Day,
Yeah,
and quite a few programs came on about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
definitely.
and oh my God, it just it's so hurtful to see
Mm,
what happened. We
definitely
are a
is.
powerful people. We really are. We are a
Yes,
powerful people if we stick together. We can
definitely,
create
yo.
another Black Wall Street.
That's
We
right.
can create another Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we owned our own bank,
Yes,
cleaner stores, and we just shopped with us. Not that we don't want to shop with anyone else, but I think we
yes,
gave a lot of other cultures enough of our money.
I agree.
And it's time for them to come and spend with us.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
We've raised their children on our money. We bought their houses.
That's right. That's right.
We bought their cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to make them come and spend some money with us. So,
Wow.
I hope that, your audience, understands that black or white,
Yo, they do.
we've been through a lot.
That's right.
We're still going through it, and it's unfortunate. And I ask myself, why are we still going through it? What is it about black skin
Mm,
that intimidates? I don't even think it's fair. It just intimidates some people.
mm,
They know
yes.
in numbers we're powerful, but we don't want to hurt nobody. We
Definitely
just
not.
want equality.
That's
That's
right.
it.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
But thanks, love. I appreciate
The-
you having me on.
and you know what? That was perfectly well said. I couldn't have said it any better. And if you don't know about Black Wall Street, please go find out what
Yes.
that's all about.
Yes.
Miss T, I'm Lord Maitreya, and we out. One love, y'all. Thank you, Miss T.
Thank you.